James is in Portland, Maine. Hi, James. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks, Dave. I'm calling to get your opinion on whether to quit my $200,000 a year remote finance manager job in order to homeschool my two daughters and work toward changing my career. I'm 39, and I'm married to a doctor who makes $300,000 a year. We are debt-free other than our $380,000 mortgage on a home worth approximately $650,000. We have a 6-month emergency fund, $350,000 in 401k,
Amazing,
and $50,000 in college funds so far.
Wow. How old are you guys?
I'm 39. My wife is 34.
Phenomenal. Pretty incredible situation you've gotten yourself into. Well done. Gives you a lot of choices, doesn't it?
Yeah. Another wrinkle I wanted to share is that my wife's specialty has very odd hours on evenings and weekends. So given my 8 to 5 schedule, we often end up like ships passing the night. So another feature of this potential decision, would be that I'd get to spend significantly more time with her.
You're 8 to 5 remote?
I'm 8 to 5 remote, so I work with people throughout the country, and to have meetings with them and things like that. I work those hours, yeah.
In finance?
Yeah, so finance is in, I am a back-end finance person for a consulting firm.
Oh, okay. So these are corporate meetings, not consumer meetings. I got you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
What would the side hustle be?
Well, that's something I want to develop. I have a background in, kind of creating some content and things like that. So I was kind of thinking that might be something I want to do part-time. Again, it would be like 15, 20 hours a week rather than a significant amount of time, because I would want to focus on the homeschooling.
Okay. Well, number one, financially, you can just quit and homeschool, right? I mean, you got $300,000 a year income, and you're just stay-at-home dad, right? That's not a problem. Financially, mathematically, you can do that. But math isn't what's giving me a pause here. What's giving me a pause is you're going from working full-time to not at all. And I think you have maybe there's parts of this picture that you've painted that are more beautiful than they are when you start doing it. The second thing that it gives me a little bit of pause is there's a part of this, and it says you have the ability to bring $200,000 to your family, regardless of what your wife works or makes. To manage that ability poorly and just, quote, flip the switch and walk away today feels irresponsible. There's a part of me that wants to say that. So I think that ability to create that much income, that much value for your family, the transition from that should be managed very carefully and deliberately to minimize how much of your earning potential is lost. And because I'm not positive that 15 hours is actually the actual limiting factor. For instance, if you were doing some kind of financial analysis that you could do when the kids are asleep, or at times that your wife is at work and the kids are asleep, or whatever, where we're not ships passing in the night, where you're not, where you work around the homeschool thing, you might still get in 40 hours pretty easily if you just had a more flexible environment, as an example. So I don't know, Ken?
Yeah, I've got a couple questions. James, what's driving this? And there's no wrong answer, but what's driving it? Is it the kids being homeschooled? Is it you coming home to take a break for a season and get the benefit of being around the kids and the wife? I mean, what's really driving this?
The homeschooling is definitely part of it. I mean, when we saw that they're putting kindergartners on iPads, we really didn't like that idea. So we moved to a place that had quote-unquote great schools, and then we saw that, and we were not thrilled with the idea. How do you go back to books after having an iPad? It was my question. And so we were really concerned about that. So that was one of the main drivers. The ships passing the night's another one of them. And the other is I went and looked up what the top paying career was at the time that I was, when I was in college and I chose finance. It isn't necessarily my passion either. So it's I do feel a little bit like I'm running away from something, to speak to what you were saying, Dave. But at the same time, I feel like given the freedom that I do have, should I be running away towards something that I'd like to do more?
The answer is unequivocally yes, but what Dave is saying, and I agree with Dave, let's not just bolt right away. Let's think of a strategy, the idea of a bridge. I just like using that analogy. What's the bridge to take me from where I am to where I want to be? And I think you got three factors here. Two of the three, by the way, all legitimate, and I just wanted to know what was behind this, because two of the three are family and relational. And because you've got the financial wherewithal to do it, I'm fine with it. I don't have red flags hearing those three answers, but I do have a red flag on, do you really know how you're going to do as homeschool dad? Because that's tough.
I think you'll have a more satisfying end to this story, a more richness of soul, if you find a way to create something that you earn in the marketplace that's different than what you're doing. It may or may not be finance related, and but it certainly doesn't necessarily have to be 15 hours. There's lots of hours in the week that that people do lots of things that are complete wastes of time. And so I think you will like your life better, yourself better, if you are somehow being a better steward of your capacity. And it's not to say being a homeschool dad is not a good steward of it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you're jumping from a high-performance situation completely out of the nest, and I just think you're going to have more of a shock, more whiplash than you think. It's just you're just asking a couple guys, and we're just talking. By the way, we don't think there's anything. Neither one of us think there's anything wrong with your idea, or your ability to do it. You have the luxury. I just want you to think through it and go, can we slow this down just a little bit, turn up the heat on what we're transitioning to, not from, a little bit, and I think you'll get a better result.
Yeah, because with the ships in the night thing isn't going to be resolved either way. His wife's got a crazy schedule, so if he's going to see more of her apparently with this move. But there's other ways to do the homeschooling. There's other ways to do that. You don't have to be the homeschool teacher. So I would ask you to do more research, look at every angle possible on how do we accomplish the kids being in the learning environment that you want, you doing something that you really, really enjoy, and getting to spend more time with the wife. Don't assume that this is the only way to do it. I think that's really what we're driving at.
Yeah, but what a wonderful place to be.
Fantastic.
You've got the heart for it, and B, the math in the household allows you to do this, and so absolutely on the way. You know, it's the way to go. No question about it. So, yeah, there's a stewardship thing for me on everything that overcoats my whole life. And so I often look at that and go, okay, I have this ability and I have this potential, I have this bandwidth, and am I using that to its fullest potential, or am I just letting it go dormant and escaping? And I have a tendency to do the escape thing like everybody else does. I have to stop and think about it, but it's one of the things, it's that whole concept that keeps me working. I don't have to be here.
That's right.
Financially. But I'm here because I have the bandwidth, I have the ability to reach a whole bunch of people still. And so I need to do that. I'm going to have my best life because I did that.
That's right.
That's what I'm looking for. Hey, good question, man. Love it. Thank you for calling in. Real brain teaser.